Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from the good French-Canadian kid. Hello, everyone. I just read online that Illumination is planning on adapting the Legend of Zelda series into an animated film. As a big Zelda fan, what do you think are the chances of this report being true, and which game do you think they should adapt as a first feature film? Merci?
Merci beaucoup, mon ami. Listen, number one, this is not a verified thing. We got to put that out there right now. This needs to be filed under the category of rumor. It is coming from a place that is sometimes right, sometimes wrong, right? But that being said, the rumor of a Legend of Zelda game, I think carries some weight to it. And I'll give you a couple of reasons why I think it actually has a legitimate possibility of being true. All right. And it very well may not be. Okay. We're not representing here that we know that it's true. We don't. This very well could be BS. But there are a couple of things that do weigh in its favor. Thing number one is that, as is pointed out in the story, Illumination is currently doing another Nintendo property. They got the Mario Brothers movie coming out. And not only are they doing that movie, you have Universal Studios, which is opening its Super Nintendo land, its Mario Brothers land at Universal here in Hollywood, which we're going to its preview night. Very, very excited about this. We cannot wait.
Which night are you going?
Anne knows. She's got the schedule.
Okay, I'm going on the 31st.
Yeah, Anne was like, for a year, she's been like, our life is about getting to that date, like whenever that was. So we got that opening. So the partnership here between Universal, Illumination, Nintendo is apparent. Nintendo, for the longest time, after the debacle of the original Super Mario Brothers movie, years and years and years ago, had always resisted strongly trying to have their property adapted into movies. They are clearly now doing that. And this Mario Brothers movie looks delightful. Looks really, really good. So all that sets the stage of Illumination doing a Link movie or even a live action movie coming from it at some point. Who knows? Seems fairly feasible. The second reason why, and the reason I put this in this order is because you got to build on the foundation of that first reason, that, hey, there's already a partnership there. The second reason I think this becomes fairly reasonable to believe is the fact that, listen, there are some people who think Breath of the Wild is the greatest video game ever made. I mean, there's just a lot of people that absolutely, I remember when actually Jeremy Johns still lived here in town, I would go over and hang out at his place and he would always be playing Breath of the Wild. I mean, every time I went over there, he was playing Breath of the Wild. That was it. And he was freaked out over. And there, again, easily probably the greatest game on Nintendo, that or Mario Kart. But there are some people who actually believe it's like the best game ever made. On top of that, we've got its sequel coming out. Was it Tears of the Kingdom? I think it's called Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or Kingdom Tears or whatever, something like that.
Tears of the Kingdom, yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. That's coming out. And that's the sequel, the immediate sequel and follow-up. It is the continuation of Breath of the Wild. So that's going to be here. So would it be really all that crazy to think that on the heels, because that's coming in a couple of months, of that movie coming out or of that game coming out with the Super Mario Brothers movie releasing, to say this is a great time for us to announce that a Link movie is coming. A Legend of Zelda movie is coming. Again, I think you have to take this with a massive grain of salt. Do not go running around telling people, did you hear that they're making a Legend? Don't go doing that. But there are rumors. I think there's some logical things here that would make it reasonable to take it at least a little bit seriously. So, and it's time. It's time. People have been waiting for this to happen. Now, I get it. They made that animated show.
Excuse me, princess.
Back in the day, what was that, in the 90s?
89.
89? Mm-hmm. They made that little awful animated show back in the day. Granted,
part of the Super Mario Brothers show.
Was part of it?
Yeah, because it was like that was a live action where it was a stupid sitcom, and then it would cut to Mario Brothers cartoon, and they were in that world. And then on Fridays, it would be the Zelda with the Mario Brothers show.
Oh, that's how they did it. Oh my God, that was that. But people were waiting for Link to come into a movie. So I give this a 50-50 chance. I give it a solid coin toss of a chance it's true. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. Number one, what do you think about the believability of the report? And do you think people would respond to a Legend of Zelda movie?
I mean, I feel like Illumination is definitely thinking about doing this. I know that Mario is obviously a very, very beloved bit of IP, but I do think it's kind of testing the waters of, hey, can we nail the aesthetic? Can we get people on board if we make some changes to something beloved and then play with something that has some really, really great storytelling behind it too? Because you look at, Ocarina of Time as well, Majora's Mask. There is a fabulous fan-made trailer by Ember Labs that came out in like 2016. Highly recommend y'all check it out. And it shows how cinematic this can be. I think it would make a lot of sense for them to do this. The issue I have then, we all freaked out, and I include myself in this because I'm one of those people, when we heard Mario's voice and it wasn't exactly what we wanted. Link does not speak.
Right.
Link is just there so that you, as the player, feel very, very invested in the game and you can kind of relate to it more, where you just hear some like exertion noises and things like that. You don't hear any actual dialogue from him. So how is that voice going to work for people? And are people going to freak out about that as well? So they definitely have some hurdles. But
I'm a Link.
It's me.
Cat Williams. Cat Williams is the voice of Link.
So good.
I think that's it.
It'd be great. But I think that this is something they're definitely going to do. And Breath of the Wild is one of the best games. You can play it however you want. I like to play it like it's Cooking Mama with horses. But there's some really beautiful storytelling in there too. You can do a lot.
Rob, chances you think this could be real?
That confuse me with Cooking
would
Mama?
this be a good idea for them to do?
I think in both cases, yes. I think absolutely it probably could be real because look, the Super Mario Brothers movie, as we pointed out on multiple occasions, looks like these people are seriously invested in the Mario lore, going all the way back to Donkey Kong. So I would assume that everybody at Illumination, who probably some of them became animators or whatever because of these games. And like Ocarina of Time, and these are classic. I mean, if you're a child of the 80s and the 90s and the aughts, these are important video games. And these are games that, you could pick up when you were younger and play them, and the franchises grew with you, or at least for a time. And I think that this is a no-brainer to me. Now, whether they've pulled the trigger, because making these kinds of movies is enormously expensive. But it seems to me like this is the next logical thing to do. I mean, what Nintendo, I think what these companies want to do is they see themselves as the new Pixar, but instead of creating new IPs with animated films, they already have those IPs with their video games, and they're trying to translate them into another medium. Whereas, there have been video games derived from Pixar movies. Cars, all kinds of stuff. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I would not be surprised if we hear this announcement soon after the Mario Brothers movie's an enormous hit.
By the way, some great suggestions, because you bring up a great point. One of the big challenges they're going to have, because I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear from any purists of the game going, Link shouldn't speak in it.
Yeah, right.
This is a narrative story. The character's going to need to speak. I'm seeing some really interesting suggestions in the live chat from people suggesting what should be the voice of Mario. I'm hearing people saying Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman is the voice of Link. Austin Butler doing his Elvis voice as Link. But I had one pop into my head that now this is all I'm going to hear. Jonathan, you want to bring up my screen?
Oh my God.
Water.
No.
Yes, the Triforce. That's all I can hear now. I will accept nothing else. This has to be the voice of Link.
Shatner is the voice of Link. Come on.
Or William Shatner is the voice of Link.
Listen,
Triforce.
Ganondorf, I think we can come to
This
a
Triforce doesn't make any sense.
What's the deal with the Triforce?
Oh, now we're
There
starting.
we go. That's the one. We found it.
Seinfeld doing the voice of Link. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you think there could be some legitimacy to this report? But put that aside for a second. If it was, would you be excited about a Link movie? Do you agree with us that you got to give him a voice? He's got to be able to speak, or do you more of a pure thing? No, they shouldn't speak. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Yes. Guys, we want to thank one of the sponsors of this video, DraftKings. Guys, the NFL playoff picture is now locked in, and your go-to place for wild card round action is DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. So to kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get 200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wild card round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you'll get a free bet back up to $10. Action so good, why bet NFL playoffs anywhere else? And if it were me, I wouldn't be betting against the Bills or the Bengals right now. So guys, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Campea, Campea. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL and get 200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code Campea. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.